It is March 15th, 2024. A little late on this. It's still Friday. I try to do it before get started for the day really, but it's almost it's like just before 11, so just wanted to get this done because I have to step out for an appointment soon. So, what's been going on this week? We had at Microsoft, at least in our area, something called FHL. So it's Fix, Hack, Learn. It's like a hackathon for the week, which is really cool. But obviously, um, it's very inclusive. So it's not just like, hey, you have to go program something kind of thing. Because there's lots of roles that are not programmers. So it's really cool. I got to work with some of the new employees on my team, which I think is a good experience because what I've noticed for very new employees to Microsoft, their first experience through FHL, they kind of feel like, hey, I don't know what to do. So I'm just going to default to just doing normal work. But the entire point of it is to be able to learn things and to, work on stuff that isn't what you're doing every day, which I think is awesome that it's supported from Microsoft. It happens multiple times per year. It's really great. But I've noticed that new employees generally are kind of like, I just don't know how to get involved. So there are lots of learning sessions, and it's great if they can attend those. But again, like I think I had employees on my last team that went multiple rounds of FHL feeling like I don't really know. Like it'd be cool to work on a project, but I don't know what to do. So I got to work with some of them on something which is nice, especially just as like a, you know, kind of kick-starting their first FHL and getting that experience. So I think that was really cool. But otherwise, yeah, this week's been pretty like uneventful, I guess. Like just not a lot of changes because FHL is going on. It's kind of the whole focus of the week, really. So that's been cool. Project building on the side. Dedicated a little bit more time to that this week, which is good. I'm going to spend more time on that today and over the weekend as well. I'm trying to get to, I think I mentioned this last time, I'm just trying to get to a point where we have sort of like a, I don't even want to call it an MVP. It's not an MVP, but it's like a minimum viable feature, if we can call it that. I kind of want to have like an end to end workflow in place to be usable. So, sort of making some progress on that. I'm building in Blazor, which is cool because I don't have a ton of experience in Blazor. So ASP.NET, sure. Blazor, no. I've made some videos and stuff, written some articles on Blazor, especially from the testing perspective. But like, I have a ton to learn in Blazor, so I'm very excited to spend some time there. Um, I don't want to come across like I'm an expert on Blazor if I don't know enough about Blazor to feel like an expert. So I think I can continue to share what I'm learning, and I'm hopeful that that'll have some more content ideas and stuff for articles and videos. But that project's coming along. I'm excited to spend more time on it because I think it's becoming more tangible. Sometimes in the beginning of this stuff, it's like the concept makes sense. And I think for me, once I see some of the implementation come to fruition, like it's easier to like start getting momentum. So one example, just to kind of share, like in terms of what database do we use? Like I'm the kind of person where I'm gonna overanalyze it, and when you do that across every type of tech or thing that you might include, like I'm gonna probably waste too much time. It's different if I know that there's a deadline and stuff, but there's no there is no deadline. Like I have to have it self has to be self motivated. So I was, chatting with the other guy building this with me, and it was really like, we don't care. Like, we'll just pick something and go, and like, except it's probably going to change. So that's fine. We'll migrate data, whatever. It's not going to be that bad. So yeah, it's been cool to start seeing some momentum there, and just want to keep that up. Dev leader wise, lots going on. We're going to wrap up this third course for Nick Chapsis for Dome Train. Should have it all done by the end of this weekend. I have two two more videos to edit today, and then I have to re-record one and edit it, and I'll do that all today as well. Then the only thing left in the course to do is to get kind of like the intro and out like a thank you message kind of thing at the end, recorded and edited, and then everything exported. Otherwise, it's done, and then we can launch both this course and the one I gave to Nick Chapsis about a month or so ago, we can launch them both in a package. So that's super exciting. That'll feel good. The refactoring course, I think, like I'm very proud of it, but I think even talking with Nick Chapsis, it was like that might not have been a very hot topic. I think it's incredibly valuable, and I don't think people are going to disagree with that refactoring is not important, but you have to think about what people want to buy and spend money on, right? Like if it's not hyped up, like for example, a course on Rust right now would be very, very good because everyone's talking about Rust. Not a lot of people are like, oh, refactoring, so exciting. In fact, it's quite the opposite. So it's a really boring topic, but I think that it's very valuable. So just kind of have to look at it that way. I'm hoping that, having like C sharp basics and stuff in place is going to be something that's just fundamental, and it might not be kind of similar, right? It might not be the most exciting thing, but I think that there's a big audience for it that will appreciate it. So, yeah, I'm happy to launch that. So I'll be wrapping up. I am going to do a couple of different things. So, um, content creation, everything's kind of staying the same. I think today might be the first day that I kind of breaking my streak for not getting a blog out. I have it mostly done, but I'm kind of like I could go rush it to post it late, and I don't really want to do that. So I might finish it to schedule it for Monday, and I have one planned for Sunday already. It's not done, but I have it planned, so I might just take the loss. But my blog traffic has been way up this week, and I was like, oh, maybe it's just because something got picked up. And usually when that happens, and I'm getting a lot of referrals from somewhere, it's like on a given day or showing up on Google's like Discover feed if you have a mobile phone that's Android. If you go to like the swipe, I don't mind Pixel, I swipe over and I get like a news feed. I think that Discover feed for Google drives a ton of traffic when something shows up, but that's not what's happening this time. I'm pretty sure it's from search results, which is cool because that's the thing that needs to grow. But literally in the past week, it's done like 2.5x consistently every day. Not gonna jinx it, trying not to, but that's pretty exciting. So just gonna keep on that momentum. But today I was like I was saying, like kind of crappy and uh, missing out on one. But it's kind of life. I can't beat myself up over it. And I think I'll set myself up to be ahead for next week, which helps. I am trying to. I'm considering a video editor. It's costly for sure, and especially that my videos don't make my. I make $1 a day from YouTube, so it's like that doesn't go very far. I am talking to someone. I feel like the price is pretty good, but it's going to cost me between $600 and $1,000 a month to edit my videos. And if I'm making $1 a day from YouTube, I'm not making 600 to 800 or 600 to $1,000 a month. So I personally think that that would give me time back to be able to do other things, and I'm going to talk about those in a moment. So I am interested in kind of like taking the loss on that, especially if I can try to get other time for other things. Currently, my wife is not, and I understand why my wife's not very enthused about that because it's like that's a lot of money to be spending on videos. And of course, she's like, what are your videos making? And it's like, yeah, they're not. But I kind of see it as like a long term thing, right? Um, right now in the beginning, if I'm paying that much, yeah, I'm definitely losing. But over time, as the channel grows, if you think about it, like if it's say it's $1,000 a month, if that's what it is, if I and this changes on the course and everything, but let's pretend that I pocket $50 from the sale of every course, which is not accurate because it depends on the course. But if I pocket 50, I have to sell 20 courses in a month to be able to break even on the video costs. Right now, I think to this date, I'm not sure if anything I've ever posted anywhere on social media or my blog has converted a single sale of a course, which sucks. So everything is like due to Nick Chapsis, who has a huge presence online. And like, I mean, obviously, that's one of the reasons why when he offered that I could write courses for him, I was like, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. But I need to like I think I've said this before, right? It's like it's literally nothing against Nick Chapsis. I need to be in a position where I can also market the courses. And like he benefits from that too. It's not like a competitive thing. We're trying to sell the courses that I'm creating, but he has a lot more courses to sell because there's more authors. So, um, yeah, I need to get better at that. So it's interesting because it's like I'm a engineering manager. I'm an engineer at heart, so I have to be able to think about how to get a good sales and marketing funnel. And like he does it well, but he's got 100 times 100 times the YouTube subscriber count that I have. So it works a little bit more effectively for him. And I think that like again, if I could grow and maybe hopefully it's not just like a same kind of growth rate, but if I have some acceleration on my YouTube channel, then if I'm at 3,600 subscribers now, if I could be at 10,000 at the end of the year, 15,000 or something like that, if it ramps up, let's say, like I don't know, like suddenly am I getting some sales from YouTube where all of a sudden my expenses instead of being $1,000 a month are 750, right? And then like it still sucks obviously. I'm still losing money, but then can I can I prove that as I grow the subscriber base that I convert a higher number, and can I kind of just look at it like a statistical thing and then map out when I get break even and start to profit, because I think that's what I need to be able to do to prove to myself. And of course, like I don't want to do this and have my wife be kind of looking at it like you're being stupid with money. Like don't do that. So I want to balance that out. I respect her opinion, of course. Personally, I think from like a business perspective, it's an investment that will give me time back to do more. But none of those other things are translating into money. So it's like, yeah, I'm getting time back, but it's not converting back into money yet. So understandable. Anyway, the two other things that I'm doing, and this is thanks to feedback from YouTube. So if you're watching this, this is on YouTube, and hopefully you saw the survey that I put out. I mean, depending on when you're watching this, maybe not. But I had asked about doing streaming. Well, sorry, I'm jumping the gun. I asked about offering two more types of content in addition to what I'm doing. One of them is interviewing software engineers, and the other is doing code reviews. I figured that those are two interesting types of things that, well, I think they would be potentially interesting, and the feedback was yes. So that was cool. Um, so I'm going to try to start scheduling that kind of thing in. But I figured what would be cool too is there's more than two things. Those are two things. Here's another two things. I want to do streaming, and I want to start small, obviously, because I've learned my lesson for doing this for a full year now, over a full year. Can't just go do too much at once. And I don't have time to do this already, which is why paying someone to edit videos would help. But I want to at least once a week get streaming. And I was thinking that some of the streams could be code review sessions. And then that would kind of feed into the other video format I just mentioned, which I think would be helpful. And then the other type of thing is kind of like an AMA for like software engineering stuff. So I had people in the Discord community start seeding some ideas for me. And I think personally, like that's the kind of stuff that I would like to be spending more time on is that kind of thing, like the software engineering in general type discussions. I love C sharp, I love programming, but I think personally the value that I offer is taking an engineering manager's perspective and a lot of experience being a software engineer and trying to help people with that and help navigate their careers and like how to approach things. So I would like to do more of that, but right now the audience in general like is more receptive to code. So I think it'd just be a cool addition. So streaming, and then software engineering interviews, and the streams and normal videos will start to hopefully include some code reviews. So yeah, those are a couple different formats I'm excited for, but I have very little experience streaming, so I'm a little nervous about that. It's definitely uncomfortable. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but I don't really think so. Yeah, just trying to be consistent, and so far it's just been it was cool to see the blog kind of pick up this week because I feel like I didn't do anything different, just staying consistent. That's really all I can ask for. Also worth mentioning, this is probably the last thing, and then I'll wrap this up. But if this looks different than the last video, I had a buddy come by who helped change some camera settings. So when I was doing this last set of courses for Nick Chapsis, he was saying like gotta change my lens up a little bit because getting way too much distortion. I do like it's dark in this room right now. Like the lights overhead are on, but barely. They're very dimmed. Um, and before I got this lens, they were actually completely off. So dark room. I have all the windows covered. And then I have lights shining down on me. But what was happening was this new lens was so dark that I couldn't, like, if I dim the lights, like if you notice, if you go through my YouTube videos, there's a period where all of a sudden they're just dark. Like I don't know what to do. But what I didn't realize is like I was trying to make it such that I wasn't getting graininess in the video. So I had the ISO level on the camera all the way down. I'm like, no graininess. I know ISO introduces graininess, but my buddy who does a bunch of like cinematography for especially for like real estate and walkthroughs, they look so good. He came by and he has the same camera and he was like, "Oh, we'll bump your ISO up." So it's like, "Hey, like what's that gonna mean for the graininess?" And he was saying like, anything up to 800 ISO on these cameras, he's like, you won't see a thing. He was saying even for I'm gonna butcher this, but he was talking about some standard like video recording settings. He was saying are at 800 by default. Like that's just what it is. So really, that's all that changed for the most part. And the camera was in manual mode for pictures. I didn't realize there's a full-on video mode, so this is also in video mode now. So this might look a little different. I'm going to experiment a little bit more because I've noticed when my monitor uh, gets a little bit brighter, it almost washes me out now. So I might go back to seeing if I can get the light overhead off, but we'll play around with it. But that's why it might look different. Anyway, I think that's it. Almost at 20 minutes here, so enjoy your weekend. Thanks so much for your support. If you have any thoughts or questions or things you want me to cover too, just ask in the comments and try to get them covered or message me on social media if you want them to be kind of private, but you still want coverage on it. So I do appreciate it, and we'll see you later.